What I've got here is a guitar with quite a nasty crack and a tiny crack there. When I fix the first big long crack, which goes from the tail block to oddly enough a rib, I guess, at that part that's preventing it from cracking any further. So I've put some kind of, little markers, I guess, tape markers as to where I'm going to put little cleats in there to help draw it all in. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to drill some cleats out of mahogany, little plugs that'll help fix the crack. And there you have it. They just look like that. Little 5/8 inch plugs. So I've attached these little cleats to the wires that come with this system, the StewMac sells. Although I've made my own, I needed some more, so I've made my own little ratcheting, devices here with the tuners I had, just kind of like StewMac has there, and put some Teflon fret dam on the bottom so it doesn't stick to any kind of glue. So that will attach. I've got this number 1, 2, 3, 4 assigned to the same numbers over there, and I've also marked a red line on the top part. You might not see it from there, where the direction of the grain. So later on when I pull it in, I can look with a mirror and see if the grain is at least diagonal or across the grain of the crack. So now it's a matter of attaching these tuners, and I'll let you know how that goes. I started with the application of the glue. I'm using Type Bond 3. Should have enough open time for me to do this work, and it will be extremely strong. I think 4,000 pounds of strength. Because the crack is so wide, I can really manipulate the glue in there quite easily. But I still may try out StewMac's compressor driven kind of glue driver product on the ends here. Now I'm going to put some glue on the one I've got labeled as number 1. And I had sanded the bottom of this with 80 grit paper just to rough it up, make sure it really sticks inside there. And let's haul this one back. There we are. So I'm going to attach an appropriate tuning peg to this one that I've got labeled as number 1. Let's look inside and kind of see where that grain pattern lies. And let's haul 2 all the way through. let's try these spool clamps. It appears like these are lining up the crack quite perfectly. So now it's just a matter of pushing this crack together. Well, it's lining up just great. Seems to be gluing up pretty well everywhere, but here I feel there's still a tiny bit of a lump. So StewMac sells this tool where you can take this same wire and put it in here and just create a bit of a hole to then pass the wire through, and I'll be putting another tuner right here and try to even that part out, and another cleat on the inside, just like we did before. We're just going to be now doing the same procedure to that second small crack now that the top crack's all been glued up 3 hours later. So I'll show you the process of doing that one again. Create a small hole right in the center. This side here is popping up a bit, so that'll create a little hole in the center. We string this, that's 0.012 I think size wire. It's kind of a E or B string kind of size wire depending on what you use for strings. This aside for a second. Again, we'll put the cleat in there. We'll pass the string through the brass end piece, I guess. And you can pass it right up through and then sideways through it a few times to just get a strong hold on that. The string will hold it really well. And that's really not going to go anywhere now. Should be sufficient. I want to try to push that glue in. That'll work some of this glue into the crack, a little bit of air pressure. And there, it seems to even out the crack already. That's looking good. Pushing a little bit of the glue out, so it's all going well. And now we'll let that dry out. Glue up seems to have gone well. I can feel a tiny little ridge here where I could in the back too. So what I did was just take some tape to a razor blade And I took the razor blade to a sharp edge on a piece of metal and created a little bit of a lip there for a tiny little scraper. And the scratch, or the crack, feels pretty good right along there. I just want to smooth it out a bit more. So the finger doesn't feel it too much. You can see all the filings there. Also, the crack went quite far to the back. So now, it's all taken care of. Went from the tail block all the way to a rib that found its way somewhere around there. It's quite a large crack. And that seems to have saved the guitar. And this is the inside of the guitar. And yet another crack to fill on the treble side towards the top. That one's not too long, a couple of inches or so. So we'll get to that one too. Got it all tightened up here and got it clamped, and now it's just a matter of waiting for this side to dry, and the guitar now should be all glued up.